Alright, hello and welcome everybody. I am Tech Cherry and I am bringing you another set from the King of Ireland tournament. And for this broadcast, we are lucky enough to be in the Platinum Division. We're going to see some high-level play here. People that are capable of a level of Age of Empires that I could only ever dream about. We've got Bengute versus wisenatic in the quarterfinals of the Platinum Division of the King of Ireland tournament. And this is the first game on Irish Arabia. So let's unpause and get started. I am sorry about the crash last broadcast. I'm going to have to go in and delete that. I think I had 20 to 30 minutes into it. But hey, when you're casting your matches live and then you suddenly get the blue screen of death because your computer crashes on you, well, there's nothing you can do except sigh and say, all right, well, I'll be back in 20 to 30 minutes after I've gotten everything else set up. So Irish Arabia is similar to regular Arabia. It was designed around Irish branding and theming. We've got EIR, he here in the center. We've got some Celtic knots. And in terms of actual technical things, we've got bases that are unique in that the wood lines are generally thinner but more numerous. So it nerfs scouts in the early game and buffs them in the later game given how open the rest of the map is. Archers are quite good on this map, though, because they can range pretty much every wood line that somebody could take. As Bengute is coming out here to drop his first lumber camp. Let us talk about the Civ matchup. What do we think about Bulgarians versus Celts? Well, I think that the Bulgarians are a more flexible civilization than the Celts. The Bulgarians are known for their cavalry options. They've got those conics, they've got Cavalier and Hussar, which can attack faster. So the Bulgarians have an advantage when it comes to mobility. But their infantry and siege are not as good as the Celt infantry and siege, in my opinion. Celts, of course, get champions and woad raiders as their unique unit. But Bulgarians get those Bagans two-handed swordsmen with insane amounts of pierce armor. Hey, T-Bomber! Thanks for coming back. I'm sorry about the crash earlier. So Celts get Scorpions, though. Celts have all kinds of siege options to take out these heavily armored Baganes two-handed swordsmen. It doesn't really matter if you've got, whatever it is, 8 melee armor or something. If Scorpions are shooting at you, you will melt just as easily. So Celts, I think, are more specialized. They are more of strictly an infantry siege civilization. Whereas Bulgarians can do infantry siege, they do have a bonus, they get the siege upgrades for cheaper, but, you know, it's not really that great in the long-term haul. So Bulgarians are more flexible and Celts are more specialized. And what this game is going to come down to is whether or not wisenatic can, unless, you know, barring some catastrophe before the late game, and if it maybe doesn't get there, maybe somebody just completely outplays the other guy before then, but barring some catastrophe and assuming that this gets to an Imperial Age crawl, what will determine the outcome of this game is whether or not Bengute is given the opportunity to use the superior Bulgarian mobility to raid wisenatic to death, and eventually whittle his eco down until the point where Bengute can do damage much, much more effectively. Bengute here picking a fight with wisenatic, or wisenatic picking a fight with him, I'm not sure, but the important part to know is that Bengute has spotted this barracks. So he knows that there is a drush coming. He has also spotted the man-at-arms. So Krepos could be really good on this map. The Bulgarians building Krepos everywhere to mitigate the damage from raids, securing key resources and wood piles. This map runs out of wood pretty quickly. So it'll be interesting to see what the players make of that, as wisenatic is moving out across the map with his 2 militia. So this is a 2 militia drush. Bengute knows the militia are coming, but he hasn't tracked it exactly. So he doesn't know exactly where they are, but he could assume that this scout is ahead of the militia. And wisenatic with his scout picking on Bengute's villager, not letting Bengute wall that off. Is Bengute loomed? Bengute have loom? Yes, he does. So, wisenatic scout going down, bengute scout going down, and these militia are now in. So wisenatic is in with 2 militia, but militia themselves are really not that great. Let's take a look at the statistics of a militia here. They have 40 HP, 4 attack, and it looks like one pierce armor. Okay. So a villager, in contrast, has 2 pierce armor, 3 attack, and 1 melee armor. So they're pretty comparable to a loomed villager. The difference is that they auto attack. So wisenatic just coming over here to this woodline being a pest, but there's not much damage he can do with only 2 militia. He could come up here and lame Bengute's deer if he finds them, but he doesn't find them, unfortunately for him. So Bengute now sending 2 onto gold. Bengute's got his militia headed across the map. One of them picking a fight with this wolf, or this wolf picking a fight with him, rather. Doing some damage and donating some HP, which is unfortunate before that man-at-arms upgrade comes in. So Bengute's going to have man-at-arms on wisenatic, and Bulgarians, of course, getting the man-at-arms upgrade for free. So wisenatic is on the prowl looking for some more damage, but cannot really find it. He is, however, is he preventing Bengute from taking gold? I guess Bengute is not as concerned about taking gold because Bulgarians get that man-at-arms upgrade for free. And this lady sees these man-at-arms coming and runs for her life. I don't blame her. Man-at-arms are no joke. They are much stronger than villagers. Consider that the attack of a man-at-arms is 50% greater than a militia, so it's 6. Wisenatic is walling this off to prevent the man-at-arms from getting in on his berries. A range is coming up, and Wisenatic is bringing his militia back. So who knows what those militia are going to do and if they're going to have any value, but maybe they could scout the map. Bengute has sent a villager forward for a tower. Bengute hasn't put anything on stone. He's not taking stone. But this tower really here just to make sure that he can continue to get in if he wants. It may also be here to force Wisenatic to abandon this woodline. The hope being that maybe as these villagers are fleeing, Wisenatic can pick one off with... Or he can pick one of Wisenatic's villagers off with his man-at-arms. So, Wisenatic is feudal age now. Bengute is feudal age. Wisenatic has a 2-villager advantage over Bengute. It makes about sense because Wisenatic's only had 16 seconds of town center idle time to Bengute's 50. So Bengute may have had to idle to get this to work out. Wisenatic cannot see this tower going up. So it's going to come as a surprise to him just now as he is fleeing. However, this lady is going to get away. As is this one. Bengute decides not to chase that any further. I'm wondering if it's because Bengute doesn't know where the town center is. Exactly, so Bengute doesn't know where Wisenatic's town center is, so therefore he didn't want to chase this villager into the town center arrow fire. Had he known that the town center was actually over here a little bit more, he may have chased that villager further and even killed it. So let me know if you guys are having any issues with the stream. It says that it's red. I'm dropping frames like crazy. I don't really understand it. You can guess where that TC is pretty well on this map. Oh, that's true, I guess. I mean, you don't always know that it's going to be here, but if you know where the ring of wood is, then you know the TC is going to be at the center of it. So let me know if the video quality is bad, and I will just give up and stream tomorrow, because I've had some pretty bad luck today. We tried to do Civ earlier, and the servers were just not letting us do Civ, and then I had the blue screen of death while I was casting this the first time, so I'll just say, today's not my day. Sometimes, every once in a while, you just have a day that's just not your day, you know? It just seems like that happens to me every day. But today especially. Oh, wait. So we got a forward blacksmith coming down for Bengute. So I guess he's got the villager there, might as well. So bengute has a stable up. The stable is for knights in the next stage. Bengute is getting pretty close to clicking up. He just needs a little bit more gold. Is bengute going to idle his town center to do it, though? No. He is got a villager in queue. He could probably force drop off all these villagers and get the food that he needs to click up. So he is idling now. Yeah, there he goes. So he force drops off and he clicks up. So bengute on his way to the castle age, probably with the intention of making knights. Okay, so bengute over here escorting this villager back, keeping him safe from the wolves. Wisenatic is at 9 military to bengute's 4, so bengute does need to kind of get out of here. He can't really fight any of this. He put his tower down. He did force Wisenatic off a wood line. Wisenatic's idle time is significantly higher than bengute's. So bengute's done the damage. He hasn't gotten any villager kills, neither has Wisenatic. But he's made Wisenatic react to him a lot and spend time walking villagers around to avoid being killed. Which is almost as good as killing them. Except they can come back. They can actually go back and do work later. But if you kill them, they don't come back. It's a total waste of food. So Wisenatic now clicking up to the castle age. Bengute is about a minute ahead of him. Maybe a little bit more than that. The seeding of these players, I should explain for the rerun of this video. Bengute is about 150 elo behind Wisenatic in terms of calculated tournament elo. So he is definitely the underdog here. But we're hoping that he does really well because we want to see a competitive set. That's the whole point of this, is for people watching the games to be like, I have no idea who's going to win, so I need to keep watching. Wisenatic is kind of going pretty high on the wood here. I know that Celts do take wood faster, but maybe being flustered, being under pressure, got to him a little bit. And he didn't throw down as many farms as he could have. Couldn't really balance the eco the way that he would have wanted. Now, I don't want to criticize these players too much. They're both way better than I am, and ever will be, I'm sure. But we certainly do have an advantage being the map creator here, as well as being omnipotent, being able to see everything that's going on in the battlefield. So bengute just finishing the second armor for cavalry, and knights are rolling out across the map. He's actually got one that is almost to Wisenatic's base. Now this knight by himself is going to need a hole to break in. He might be able to like come over here, but I have a feeling that Wisenatic would tank some arrow fire from this tower to prevent the knight from getting in. But bengute is just going to look for a juicy overchop, I think. He doesn't really need to attack yet. He's massing knights. Wisenatic now was pulling back, actually, seeing that bengute had hit castle age. As bengute slips in through a hole over here, it looks like. So the knights are in. That's not good. Knights are very good at killing villagers. They go down in just a few hits. And he takes 1, 2, 3 villagers down and then scrams. So he's gotten 3 kills on Wisenatic. Wisenatic is now tied with bengute for villagers, if that gives you an idea of the idle time. So bengute has some swordsmen over here. These are just his man-at-arms, I guess, that he decided he was going to upgrade. I'm not sure why he upgraded them. Maybe he has long-term plans of using these as swordsmen. Someday, going swordsman in his army composition. But they will be good at killing pikes anyway. And he is going knights, so he could probably expect some pikes from his opponent. So Wisenatic really committing here. We've got 2 more barracks foundations coming down. And we have a 3rd here already with pikemen on the way. So Wisenatic wants to make lots of pikes. Wisenatic coming out. This is a great spot for a town center. He wants to be able to build a town center here and have a safe wood line and have access to this gold. Bengute says, no thank you. I don't think so. Comes in and dives it. He's got a big mob of +2 knights. Looks like we've got 8 knights here against the rest of this military, but the pikes are not ready yet. There's only 2 pikes in production now, and these villagers are all going to go down. So Wisenatic here with 9 deaths to Bengute's 1 death for eco. These crossbowmen are next. Bengute massacring. Wisenatic panicking, putting down a monastery. I know I would too. That monastery, I would have put down 3 monasteries. Hell, I wouldn't have built 3 barracks. But that's why I'm only a 1400 pleb. This monastery will help wisenatic maybe pick off a couple knights with conversions and heal up his units. So I call it a panic monastery because he built it with 4 villagers, but I don't think he's in that much danger. This has been a pretty competitive set so far. Bengute says Bulgarians get longsword upgrade for free. Oh wait, it's all of them. Alright, thanks for the education. I thought it was just man-at-arms. Then in that case, why not get it if they get it for free, right? I'm joking. I know that it happens automatically. You don't click to get it. So Bengute on the prowl with these knights, looking for some more damage. Bengute overall has been playing this very aggressively against wisenatic. He's added a second town center though. So this tells me that he wants a little bit of eco, but maybe Bengute looking at that 1900 ranking on wisenatic at one point. I think wisenatic was like 1940 or something like that, the highest. And that's scary. Like, could you imagine being up against some guy that was going toe-to-toe with 2K players in the ranked queue? Somebody that's got a really good knowledge of the game, really solid macro, and can look at maps and break them down. I mean, wisenatic isn't just any high-level player, right? He is a high-level player that is not afraid to try something new. And that makes him dangerous. But Bengute loves trying things new as well. He is on his way back, and he is regrouping here. He's got 13 knights now, so Bengute's still going knights. The mobility is really quite valuable on this map. So wisenatic has 17 military to Bengute's 16. And Bengute has a little bit more town center idle time. That's the only reason that wisenatic is kind of sort of keeping up with them in villagers. Although wisenatic is only on 1 town center now. wisenatic starting to push out across the map, powering through this tower's arrow fire to wall this off with houses. Is going to destroy Bengute's outpost. And probably continue to push across the map after that. Bengute does still have vision on this wood line though. Bengute has built... You know, I just realized this. Did Bengute build this outpost so that he could keep an eye on the overchop over here? So that would be really smart. He's got a long swordsman over here to keep an eye on the overchops over here. So wisenatic coming out across the map now. So Bengute is going to see it coming. Of course, because his knight goes down, and wisenatic building a forward siege workshop wants to end this pretty quickly. I really appreciate you guys coming back, tuning into the broadcast. I'm very sorry for the technical difficulties earlier. And to have to repeat a lot of this content, but we're about where we were. So wisenatic going after this barracks. He needs to break in, he needs to do some damage. Bengute has begun stonewalling this area. So that will help Bengute with overchops over here. Bengute does not want to be raided. But the good news is wisenatic is generally going for a slower army composition. Pikes, siege, maybe a few crossbowmen to kill the odd long swordsman. This ram is pressuring this barracks. Bengute trying to convert a crossbowman. Wisenatic is sending more lads across the map. So wisenatic now has 36 military to Bengute's 20. Now granted, Bengute's military are all knights, which are quite good. So we've taken down the barracks. Battering ram is kind of waiting here. It looks like he's going to load it up with stuff to try to charge the town center. Bengute going mangonel defense. He has queued up light cavalry, maybe to pick some monks off, as well as to conserve his gold for mangonels. This knight dives this mangonel. Is he going to get it? Yes, he does, but Bengute manages to snipe wisenatic's mangonel as well. So those light cav going down pretty fast to the pointy boys. Wisenatic is going to need a different approach, and he's queued mangonel. So he's thinking rams aren't really going to work here. There are too many knights. There are too many villagers. They'll just batter down the ram as it enters the zone of control of the town center. If he wanted to do rams, he'd need like 3 siege workshops and like 6 rams pumping out of them. Okay, here's a mangonel. Wisenatic. Oh, almost getting a mangonel pick off on bengute. That's some nice mangonel micro from wisenatic here. Wisenatic is now finally going to get this town center up. And bengute building a cheeky tower here. Just to annoy wisenatic. Make it hard. Make life hard for him. Make him have to relocate these lumberjacks or just deal with this. So we've got Celt Eat TC going on. Wisenatic's mangonels, not only do they fire faster because they're Celts, but they are on a graceless hillock. So they will deal 25% more damage to this town center. So bengute is going to have to waste a lot of stone repairing his town center just to keep it up. But I do think it's the right decision because if this town center falls, then wisenatic can just walk right into bengute's base. So he'll need a second line of defense against that. Bengute's sneaking out the bottom, though. What's the plan here? We'll have to keep an eye on that. Bengute's got a mangonel coming. What is he? Oh, he attacks these mangonels, but doesn't get the kill because wisenatic is on the hill. Is that what's going on here? So wisenatic is repairing this mangonel. It's so hard to micro against Celt mangonels. They fire faster. Wisenatic is keeping an eye on this situation. He does take down bengute's mangonel, but bengute is here for a raid. Wisenatic trying to keep up with his overchopped woodlines here. Bengute's cavalry is on the way, does not quite make it in, but he will attack wisenatic's housing. So wisenatic spots it, of course repairs, and will wisenatic be able to keep these houses up forever? Well, he doesn't want to send his military back, because then his military is going to have to walk all the way back. This is going to take forever. And at this stage, wisenatic decides that the town center is damaged enough, he's just going to dive it. Maybe bengute will garrison the town center and kill some units, but he'll be able to prevent him from garrisoning the rest. He's got 3 town centers on it now, and this town center is going to go down. But bengute is in down here, but decides not to go in. So bengute broke his way in. He got wisenatic to throw down a bunch of foundations. TCs don't take stone to repair, only wood. You do need at least 1 stone to try and repair. Yeah, I know, actually. That one I did know, bengute. But I heard that they changed it so you no longer need stone to repair town centers. Did you hear about that? Maybe it's just a rumor. So bengute putting up a crepost here to defend these farms, prevent wisenatic from pushing in this way behind his base. Wisenatic could always go this way, I suppose. So bengute's going to have to keep an eye on that. He does have some buildings here to tell him if wisenatic wants to go this way. Bengute could also rush down another crepost here. I think we're basically where we were when we left off. Bengute is on his way to the Imperial Age, actually. He's quite close. Bengute said, haven't heard about that, but it would make sense. I don't know that I agree with that change. But it does make it easier to drop your town center on an opponent twice and be able to repair it. Yeah, so this is what I thought. Another crepost is being forced down here. This one to protect bengute's stone. However, I don't think bengute has murder holes, so if wisenatic really wanted to, he could come and dive this crepost with his pikemen. Maybe if he had arson, he could take it down. So bengute's Imperial Age now. He's selling food for gold. Bengute is off of gold. He's been taken off of his gold by wisenatic. And he is relocating his lumber camp here and deploying his knights to defend it. Wisenatic is going to see this, though, or at least see the knights go up that way. And bengute getting punished really hard for his gold situation. I mean, look at this. All of bengute's gold is either outside of this ring or it's quite forward in an area that wisenatic can easily pressure. Wisenatic should build an outpost or leave some dudes here or something to keep an eye on this. Keep bengute from taking gold. Because if bengute can't take gold, he's in trouble. Wisenatic is getting wheelbarrow now. 40 minutes into the game. To be fair, though, wisenatic has 17 farmers, which is not many above the recommended amount. I think it's 15. It's the recommended amount of farmers before you get wheelbarrow. 12 to 15. So this tower did end up getting battered down by wisenatic. The fight is happening here. Has bengute gotten the armor yet for his knights? No. And he's not going into Cavalier either. We're getting more barracks. So bengute electing for an infantry switch. He hasn't shown wisenatic these barracks, though. Wisenatic doesn't know about it yet. Wisenatic is moving around looking for damage, looking to get in on bengute's base. He's already destroyed this mining camp, so bengute can't take gold there. He's got pikemen on the prowl up here. He can't get too close to this woodline because of the prepost. I think it's a mistake for wisenatic to abandon this woodline, or this gold here. I think wisenatic could have left some guys here at least to know what bengute was up to. And we've got two-handed swordsmen for bengute coming out. And a forward town center on the gold, so bengute says now is my chance to take this gold. Wisenatic is at 42 military to bengute's 16. And looking to break in and pressure bengute's town center, I think, directly. But enough two-handed swordsmen over here, and it will clean this army. This mangonel goes down to prepost fire. Bengute's putting down another town center. Bulgarian town centers cost less stone. He is also destroying wisenatic's forward houses. So the ecos are pretty close. Bengute has slightly more villagers than wisenatic. And wisenatic has twice the military, but they're all pikemen. They're all pikemen. There might be a couple mangonels in here. So the question is, when is bengute going to have to show his two-handed swordsman? I think it's pretty soon. Yeah, it's right now. So wisenatic is going to know, yeah, I don't want to fight this, but he's going to take a couple mangonel shots at these two-handed swordsmen, but he knows everything here is about to die. He's going to try to evacuate it. That was a really nice attack round, actually. Wisenatic with his attack rounds. Dadgum. I lied. Manages to keep that mangonel alive. Oh, no, there it goes. But look at all those throwing axemen he killed. That's really impressive. So wisenatic is on his way up to the next stage. He is on 2 town centers. And castle coming down from wisenatic to protect this town center, secure this gold, and this really terrible wood line right here. And a market. He's got pikemen on the patrol. So bengute now with almost a 10 villager advantage. Building up, bengute getting the final armor for these two-handed swordsmen. Wisenatic is going to be Imperial Age any second now. And Siege Workshop coming down from Wisenatic. I think that is the right call. I think Wisenatic needs Scorpion pikemen to stay competitive in this game. So Wisenatic pushing out, building an outpost. Bengute is going to see that Wisenatic is pushing out in this area because of this wall of houses. And maybe Wisenatic wants to build some town centers out here. Take some map control. Yeah, there it is. And he's got another castle coming up on this hill. So Wisenatic at this point is saying, this is a late game battle now. I need to build up. I need to secure different areas of the map. And, ooh, this could be really bad if bengute finds this and reacts. But bengute, alright, is just finding this now. Coming up with a castle of his own. Bengute's going to spot this any second now. This could be a doubt castle. Wisenatic is going to power through with the construction. But, yeah, this castle is denied. Now, this castle is going to be denied forever. These pikemen are going to chase the knights off. But still, killing that many villagers on this castle is really good for bengute. Let's hope he notices here. Let's hope he doesn't lose too many knights to that. It would be a shame to lose knights to pikemen that way. Wisenatic sends 2 villagers to finish it. Wisenatic could actually have denied this castle, maybe himself, although bengute would have just garrisoned in the town center and shot him if he tried to destroy it. Okay, so castle is up for Wisenatic. Town centers are up. The macro is going for Wisenatic. He's got villagers in queue from every town center. So, except this one, which is researching handcart. So the question is, can Wisenatic control the fights? If Wisenatic can control the location of the fights, he will win. But bengute does have a substantial villager advantage, so maybe even just on equal terms, these guys, bengute will still come out on top. So bengute has gone on a two-handed swordsman raid over here. Wisenatic ducking inside of his town center. There's not really much left over here for Wisenatic to do except maybe take this stone. But these woodlines have been all chopped through. So there is a stone and gold over here. I could foresee Wisenatic maybe putting a castle right here and maybe building a town center here to secure this area. But we got a trebuchet battle. I guess it's only logical, except bengute's two-handed swordsmen are... Oh my goodness, look at this. These onagers just devastating. Wisenatic is a pro with siege attack ground. That's what we need to know, is bengute is raiding these town centers. We knew that stuff like this would happen. And bengute is going into Hussar. He's got two-handed swordsmen keeping Wisenatic busy over here. Wisenatic having to garrison his town center to deal with that. And what have we got here? Are these pikemen? So he's gonna steal an onager shot off at these trebs. He wants to flatten the trebs with the onagers. I don't know that it's gonna happen. Wisenatic is out of stone. These two-handed swordsmen are getting close to the pikemen. He wants to take out these trebs with his onagers. How much range does he have now? He's only got 7 range with these onagers. I don't know if he can make it work. Alright, he does get 1. Oh, he almost had 2. So he's trying to even the odds here with the trebuchets, but that was quite expensive for Wisenatic. His town center is being raided. Wisenatic is all over the map. Alright, he is building a new lumber camp down here. Got a couple of crossbowmen to take on these two-handed swordsmen. Are these Bagan's two-handed swordsmen? No, bengute is getting stirrups. No, they do not look to be Bagan's two-handed swordsmen. Stirrups will help bengute's hussars attack faster. We've seen bengute play stirrup hussars before. He did it on Glendalough in the previous set against Chicxo, and it worked out quite well for him. He traded okay with his opponent against the camels. It may have had something to do with the fact that bengute was just raiding the crap out of his opponent, taking advantage of the openness of the map. And the hussars are on their way in. Bengute has 54 on farm somewhere. Wisenatic has 37 on gold, 20 on food, and 18 on wood. He has pikemen in place, but Wisenatic is struggling to keep up here. Bengute's pop capped at 170, and Wisenatic is at 114. So the farming economy is looking really good for bengute as he continues to throw down, as he's thrown down many stables and building another castle. Hussars are flooding the map, and this is looking like bengute's game. Wisenatic never really getting the chance to do what he wanted to do. Got raided. Never got to the full potential of Celts, which works out in bengute's favor substantially. And with that, Wisenatic calls the GG. So this is a pretty competitive game, but bengute managing to raid his opponent and get ahead even after Wisenatic's attack. So Wisenatic's attack here, he destroyed a town center. He was doing a lot of damage, but bengute managing to come back. That was a very entertaining game. I don't think either player did anything with the relics. We're all too busy refreshing lumber camps to do anything about the relics. So with that, we are going to give the first win to bengute here, and we'll be interested to see what Wisenatic comes up with for his home map and what the strategies are. I really appreciate it. I logged onto Discord this morning and I saw Wisenatic write like 2 really big paragraphs about how much he loved the maps, and I really appreciated that. I was very grateful that he wrote that down, because I did work hard on it. So I hope, regardless of the outcome of this set, that both of the players are enjoying the King of Ireland tournament. So we're going to go take a look at the next map. And we got Socotra version of Irish Nomad here. This is the smallest possible magnification of the map. We have Bengute versus wisenatic. We've got Spanish versus Bohemian. So Spanish on Nomad, a classic Civ matchup. Bengute says, think we are technically supposed to have a treaty. Who cares, right? Just as long as you have 3 villagers and they're building a town center, or 2 villagers building a town center and 1 villager building a dock, that's really what matters. Don't go killing somebody's villagers so they only start with 2 villagers. But it's fine. As long as these guys are gentlemen, that's really what matters. So Bengute is building his town center down here in the south. And wisenatic up here in the north. So Irish Nomad, what's different about it? You start with a transport ship in the corner. Neither player has found their transport ship yet. So we've got a dock for wisenatic. On Irish Nomad, you can afford a house, a dock, a fishing ship, and a town center. At minute 1, before you ever put anything on wood. So everybody gets plus 50 food, and that plus 50 food is designed to nerf Persians and Malians and their wood bonus. So we'll see what the players make of this. We got some idle time from Bengute. Bengute, queue villagers. Oh no, he's queued loom. Interesting. Why is he queued loom first?
I know.
It'll just put him a villager behind. Bengute, explain yourself. So Bengute exploring with a transport ship now to try and figure out what's landlocked, what's not landlocked, and where is my opponent's fish. What do you guys think about these transport ships? Do you think they're good, bad? These transport ships will always have 1 line of sight. It's quite terrible, regardless of whether or not you're Sicilians. And it looks like wisenatic has not found his transport ship yet, or maybe he's forgotten about it. I do that sometimes. So wisenatic got a fishing ship out working for him. He's on wood, and he's going to build another villager here. Oh, he's going to queue up another villager. So what was that? Okay, he did bring in a boar. That's how he has food. So sheep are scouts on Nomad. You generally don't eat sheep unless it's an emergency, because you can use them to explore the map. Wait a second. It's Bengute literally built his town center on top of that boar. Nice. Bengute taking a cow here. I say that you shouldn't eat sheep on Nomad, and here's Bengute eating sheep. But they are exploring, both players. It's Bengute's knowledge of the map. Oh no, not really. Bengute isn't exploring either. wisenatic is exploring. Bengute was using his transport ship to explore. The transport ship line of sight is really terrible, but maybe he can find his opponent's dock. I guess as long as Bengute knows that this is open down here. Now what I'm kind of interested in is, why did Bengute build this dock right here exactly? Maybe he wants to see whether or not his opponent comes around this opening. So Bengute says, I don't know how I feel about them. It's kind of annoying that it takes up pop space, but it does let you scout for docks. That's true. Alright, so Bengute is on his way out here with the sheep. The sheep disappears, so he's going to have a pretty good idea that wisenatic is in this area. However, this is a wisenatic villager and not a wisenatic town center, so Bengute might come up here thinking to find a town center and then not find anything but a house. So wisenatic is... what is he, laming these berries? So does wisenatic have an idea of where Bengute is? And maybe wants to lame his resources. Look at wisenatic like systematically searching for Bengute on the map. This is how you know you've got a really good player. I mean, look at this scouting information, wisenatic. This is really good. He's building houses just to give him an alertness and a vision of what Bengute is up to. So, like, if Bengute ever came out here to build a mining camp on this gold, for example, chances are pretty good he would run past this house, or that this house's vision would illuminate the gold. The mining camp on the gold. Bengute says it was the first spot I could find that put it next to shorefish. Alright, so I'm totally overthinking it then. That's fine. wisenatic bringing in a second boar now, weakening it with the town center arrow fire, and then ejecting to kill it. How heavily on fish are these players going? Well, wisenatic has 4 on fish so far, and Bengute has 3, it looks like. Both have around 14 or 15 on food. Wisenatic with only 9 seconds of town center idle time, and bengute with 25, so Wisenatic will be about a little less than a villager ahead of bengute. However, there is the... Oh, has bengute spotted Wisenatic's dock? Yes, so bengute knows that Wisenatic's dock is up here. So by now, both players are kind of realizing that this is a pretty small version of Ireland in this particular orientation. So we could expect a pretty aggressive game. And because it's smaller, it's hillier, there aren't a lot of other places for town centers, I feel like. So it could be a much more aggressive, less boomy map. Bengute clicking up to the feudal age first, though, before Wisenatic. What's Wisenatic doing? Okay, he's going on to stone, so this is... he's gonna go conks. Wisenatic is at 30 pop, and he's gonna be 31, and then he's clicking up to feudal age here. So has he gone on to stone? Or he's gone on to stone, but has he gone on to gold? What's Wisenatic's plan? Is Wisenatic's plan to sell stone for the gold that he needs to click up to castle age? I guess we'll have to watch. Bengute coming and taking another pass. You know, he's going to be on to you, Bengute. He keeps seeing this transport ship go by. He's going to know that you know where he is. Now let's see if Wisenatic... Oh yeah, Wisenatic knows exactly where Bengute's dock is. In fact, his captain is taking a stay at Bengute's dock. He's gotten out on the dock and is stretching his legs. So these transport ships also help players move monks onto these little islands off the coast. All the relics are on these little islands off the coast. Like right here. So because you start with a transport ship, you can move your monk out there and pick up that relic and move it back. You can also do like a sneak landing, so if somebody walled off half the island, you could put some villagers in here and unload. You wouldn't have to build a transport ship. So Bengute is feudal age. Let's see what he does with it. Fire galley in production. Is Wisenatic going to queue a fire galley? No. Wisenatic has not queued a fire galley. I don't know if Wisenatic wants to really invest too much more in water. He is building a blacksmith now. Had a mill here, and he is now building a market. So Wisenatic is going to be clicking up to the castle age pretty quick. Bengute is not so close. Wisenatic is leaving this area. Bengute's fire ship is... Bengute has built a second dock. Okay. So Bengute is definitely investing into water. And Wisenatic is investing into fast castle conquistadors. Wisenatic also on gold. These gold... It doesn't look like there's much gold or stone, but these gold piles are 3K. And the stone piles are, yeah, 3K, and the stone piles are, I think, yeah, 1,700. So it's quite a bit, but it encourages players, if they want a more efficient collection of their resources, to spread out across the map. So market coming down for Bengute, so he is definitely thinking about castle age now. Wisenatic is building a forward house on Bengute, probably to try to figure out where Bengute is. Doesn't know. House isn't going to tell him. Actually, he scouted a house here. So he doesn't know exactly where Bengute is, but he probably imagines that Bengute is somewhere over here, considering that he's seen Bengute's dock, and he's seen most of this coast. Yeah, so Wisenatic knows that this is where Bengute is. He's over here. So Bengute has scared Wisenatic's fish away. Wisenatic is fleeing his fish around Ireland just to keep Bengute's fire ship busy, I suppose. I don't know where these fish are going to go exactly. Wisenatic is... I guess they're just waiting for fire ships to be massed. Bengute's stonewalling. Bengute knows that Wisenatic is up to no good. Does not want these villagers coming in here and building a Spanish castle. Spanish builds so quickly. wisenatic is throwing down an outpost, and bengute is on his way up to the castle age now, so does not want to fall behind, and wisenatic electing to build the castle here. So this stone wall right here could be very impactful for the game. Could you imagine if wisenatic had walked in here and built the castle on bengute's gold? I mean, bengute has so few resources, he's kind of boxed in here. Even this gold is outside. So we'll see if bengute can turn it around. wisenatic has a random villager in here. Don't ask me how it got there. bengute wants to stonewall behind this. What's the range on this castle? I'm not sure. wisenatic is battering away at this blacksmith with villagers, and conquistadors are coming out. So wisenatic is probably she should probably give up on these fish. wisenatic should probably build some farms at this point. No, okay, he is going to just invest more into berries. That's fine too. That's even better. That doesn't cost wood. bengute building a watchtower here to keep these villagers away. All wisenatic has to do is come over to this side and start battering at this palisade and shooting at it with a conquistador. Defensive monastery coming down for bengute. This gold is absolutely critical for him. Once this gold runs out, bengute is GG. bengute cannot boom. He just simply does not have the space back here. So bengute's blacksmith goes down. Who needs blacksmiths? wisenatic is walling bengute in. Oh my goodness, the flex. bengute coming back with his transport ship. Let's hope that wisenatic doesn't see it. Know that bengute has plans to transport somewhere else on the map. Or at least that's how it looks. That's what I would do. I would totally like sail over here and start building over here. wisenatic's been doing a pretty good job of taking up the rest of the map though. Been building across much of the map so that he has vision.
Presto.
So what's it going to be? Or maybe this transport ship is here to help bengute collect relics. Relics will be very important for bengute if he is to preserve this gold to the best of his ability. wisenatic here with some fire ships now. I guess he's given up his dock. I don't know where these fire ships came from. But they are here on the prowl for bengute's fish. bengute has to flee them. And bengute building a defensive castle of his own on this gold to protect it.
Monday?
wisenatic with 1 minute and a half of idle time, and bengute with over 2.5 minutes of idle time. So is bengute's transport ship going to go anywhere? Or is it going to get sunk by the fires? Nope, just passing. Fires are going to come, and they're still going for the fish. So how do the resources look? bengute is going imp, which is definitely the play. Buying it, abusing the market somehow. Where even is bengute's? Oh, here it is. Alright. So wisenatic destroyed the market instead of the blacksmith first. Maybe that was a mistake. Maybe wisenatic should have destroyed the market instead. But bengute is pretty broke. He's going to get in, but hopefully he'll at least have the res to make trebuchets for his sake. wisenatic, I haven't seen too many more conquistadors from wisenatic, so I'm not really sure what his plan is. He's got a second town center here. Is wisenatic just going to boom? wisenatic has invested heavily into... Okay, so the transport ship has gone down at some point. wisenatic burning this farm. bengute says it's for the relics. Didn't need to abuse the market. That's true, you had all the resources you needed here, bengute. As his transport ship is retreating over here. Taking a fight with these fire ships. So I think wisenatic is going to be surprised by this Imperial Age. wisenatic is at 47 villagers to bengute's 38. What's the plan from wisenatic? I'm not seeing too much military. I feel like wisenatic could have a lot more military than this. Maybe he's just He's got a dock here. Maybe he just wants to go military on the water. Okay, so bengute is going and getting the relics now. Ungarrisoning the monk, picking up the relic, hopping back in. Yeah, I know, it is kind of annoying. But I want to do something unique and different with the map. Bengute has 2 relics now. I don't know how many more relics Bengute is aware of as Bengute hits Imperial Age. Oh, okay, yeah, Bengute knows where all the relics are. He's scouted all the way around. Trebuchet should be in queue for bengute. Yeah, he's got 2 trebs in queue. So wisenatic's castle will go down if he's not careful. Or if he's not up to imp like right now. So this castle's going to go down. I think wisenatic knows it. Don't think he's going to invest anything in repairing it. He's just going to assume that bengute has no eco. So wisenatic with a 15 villager lead over bengute for now. Okay, bengute's transport ship is here and waiting for another monk. Castle continuing to be hit by trebuchets. Bengute getting 2-man saw. So wisenatic has clicked up himself. Idled his town centers a little bit to do it, I think. What's he going to do with imp, though? He'll have no military production buildings. I'd like to see wisenatic build a barracks. I feel like it's warranted at this point. Bengute could absolutely go monk treb here. Monk treb, Hussite wagon, and wisenatic could be in trouble. Wisenatic has 3 military somewhere, and I think they're all fire ships. No, it's 1 conquistador and 2 only fire ships. This is his whole map. Okay, so monasteries. Yes! Yes, this is amazing. I can't wait. I hope that wisenatic was able to get Inquisition, but I don't think so. Wisenatic is going to know, though, wagons, so he's going to need redemption. And we got forging coming in. He's not even bothering with the armor. Forging is probably going to be for scouts to kill bengute's stuff. Bengute's monks. Another castle comes up for wisenatic. Bengute's finishing the gate. He's going to start pushing out with the monk treb play. And monk treb. I'm sorry. I know Tech Chariot always says this, but monk treb actually does make a lot of sense for this map. It's very, very tight. It's almost Socotra-like. The monks are slow. They don't have to walk very far or for very long to get to everywhere on this island. So it just makes sense. Bengute is trying to convert some villagers. These trebs are going to roll forward. Wisenatic needs to make sure that he can get his tech in. Get supremacy, dude. Get it. He's trying to get everything. These 3 trebuchets, though, the castle isn't going to last long. Wisenatic is repairing it. Bengute has an advantage, though. He's had more monks for longer, more monasteries working for longer. He's got wagons. Wisenatic's second castle going down for free. Not really getting anything out of that one either. So light cav coming out for Wisenatic. He's invested in light cav. He's getting redemption so that he can deal with the Hussite wagons. Bengute's trebuchets, he's got 4 taking down Wisenatic's market, which, if you ever go monks, somebody taking down your market is a big deal. You can't sell off your excess resources. And you don't really have eco when you go monk treb. And I guess light cav. But, somehow Bengute has come back here. Now Bengute controls the majority of the map, and Wisenatic is the one that's being forced into his own corner of it. Granted, the corner is a little bit bigger, but still, Wisenatic on the back foot here. 2 town centers, and he's got more idle time. I don't think 2 town centers were the play here. As soon as you you know that it's a standoff, one castle versus another. You want to go imp as soon as possible. Wisenatic is in a tough spot. Has he built a second market yet? No, he's building it now. Okay. So wisenatic with the monks, he's got sanctity and redemption, so he's able to convert some wagons. It would be better for these monks if they had the range upgrade. Spanish have access to that range upgrade. And wisenatic diving Benguti's monks. These Hussite wagons are going to kill wisenatic's monks. So both players killing each other's monks, and the question is, who did more damage? The light cav are attacking the trebuchets, the wagons are attacking each other. Wagons take forever to kill each other. Wisenatic diving the trebuchets just to buy himself some more time. He needs more monks to convert the Hussite wagons. You know what would really help these monks out is block printing. Block printing would give them more range. Oh, okay, wisenatic has it. Never mind. And benguti's got this big mass of Hussite wagons here. Is it going to carry him through? I really hope we see atonement from these guys. Wisenatic feels like he's in a good enough spot to rebuild this town center. Benguti feels like he needs to put wisenatic in a bad enough spot to build this castle. But redemption monks, if you can make them, are the best counter to Hussite wagons. If you can't, then mangonels will have to do. So what is Benguti going to do? Seems to be pushed back. He's losing Hussite wagons. This castle is not able to be built. Benguti has lost too much ground. Is he just going to take the fight here? No, he's going to build the castle back here. At least secure a little bit more of the map. Wisenatic has a couple of light cav. It's going to be annoying. Going to get some villager pickoffs, perhaps. And wisenatic rebuilding that town center, too. So, are you telling me that there was a time in which wisenatic, he's got 2 markets that he rushed down, didn't have any town centers? Castle's going to go up for Benguti. These wagons are going to have to retreat. Ranged fire generally doesn't do much to these wagons. They're quite heavily armored, at least pierce armor, but castles fire multiple arrows, so they do however many arrows worth of damage that they fire to Hussite wagons, basically. Which doesn't sound like a lot. It might be like 7 or whatever, but it's 7 more times 1, so it's 7-fold. Benguti wants to destroy this house, maybe so that he can build a mining camp here. Take the stone. He's got the stone for another castle, but this is turning into a really good game. You know, wisenatic dropped this castle on Benguti. I thought it was over when Benguti was pinned into the space. Wisenatic has destroyed Benguti's fishing economy. What does Benguti have for relics? Benguti's still managing to keep his free transport alive. He's got 2 relics. And then I thought it was over for wisenatic when Benguti was pushing in with the wagons. So overall, I'm really impressed that these players are neck and neck, you know. Chemistry coming in for wisenatic, so castle is not really in the cards for him. I don't know how secure his stone is. I mean, he is building on a stone here, but Benguti's going to have a castle, so at the very least, Benguti's going to see it. It's kind of funny that he's building this town center here in order to be castle dropped, but bombard cannons are going to be the play for wisenatic. Benguti is investing in light cav of his own. Bohemian's not known for their cavalry, but when it comes to picking off monks, could do the trick. Wisenatic is making a forward here against Benguti. Not a forward, but a push. But the thing is, we've kind of got a castle wall here for Benguti. We've got 2.5 castles. He is denying this castle. Wow, that's a big deal. That really hurts if you're Benguti. So I would say right now that wisenatic is in a pretty winning position, a commanding position. Even though the score says bengute is doing better, wisenatic has more villagers, and he's got a better army. Wisenatic is building a castle to counter bengute's castle, to secure the stone for himself, and prevent bengute from finishing this castle. So where's all of bengute's military? He's just starting to make light cav. He's got 2 light cav now, and he's got 2 more in queue.
Monday?
And of course, being Spanish villagers, this castle goes up very quickly. Bengute could delete this castle, but there's not really any point. He destroys his own houses. What's the plan? Wisenatic is getting theocracy. Love it. Love to see the monk text coming in. Yeah, this thing is telling me that I'm dropping 41% of my frames. So, I'm not sure what's going on with that. It probably has something to do with the latency. Bengute knows that if he deletes this, he'll get very little stone back for it. And finally, somebody has made trebuchets now. Wisenatic is making trebuchets of his own. Try to keep up with this. So I'll have to investigate the video quality after this, but I need to make sure that I cast every single game from the King of Ireland tournament. I've set that as kind of a goal. Bengute is going to win the Treb War here. He had 2 castles making trebuchets to Wisenatic's 1. So this castle for Wisenatic does go down, and these light cav are going to come in. And Bengute could probably finish this castle now. I'm not really sure why Wisenatic has turned his attention over here. Maybe it's because he thinks that Bengute's wagons are going to push in this way. This trebuchet goes down for Wisenatic. It seems like Wisenatic just can't get siege. That's his problem. He can't remove Bengute's castles. Bengute's got these critical castles up, and he can't really push through it. I guess this castle isn't finished yet, but it sure as heck is taking his time. Bengute is finding a surround in these monks. That's pretty unfortunate. He has light cav of his own. Wisenatic microing against those light cav, but Wisenatic is going to lose a lot of monks here. He's only got 3 left. With some light cav conversions, but without a healthy monk population, Wisenatic can't keep these wagons at bay. Okay, Wisenatic is getting the 2nd armor upgrade for cavalry, which is interesting. Armor won't protect you from God.
I know.
But maybe Wisenatic is thinking about this castle fire. He's tired of losing light cav to this castle fire. Maybe his plan is to dive these trebuchets with his cavalry. So he wants them to survive the arrow fire. Bengute finishing this castle now and building some mining camps on this gold. No, a mining camp and a lumber camp. So this castle is securing these resources for him. Wisenatic has the stone for another castle. Bengute coming in for a raid over here. Wisenatic is ahead on villagers. It's kind of funny to think that in this tiny little space up here for Wisenatic, there are 84 villagers. Wisenatic fighting Bengute's light cav with his own. We've got a cannon here for Wisenatic. So wanting to micro against these trebuchets. If he's not careful, Bengute's going to snipe this cannon with his trebuchet. What is this? Some light cav going down to trebuchet stones. Okay, here it comes. So this cannon is going to get clobbered by these trebuchet. Oh no, trebuchet missed. Is this one going to hit him? Yep. So just like that, the guy dies and falls off over his cannon and onto the ground when the trebuchet stone lands on top of his head. Okay, Wisenatic building a castle here. He's got a cannon, and he just wants to pressure this castle. These cannons are Spanish bombard cannons, and although they don't get siege engineers or any extra range or anything like that, they do fire faster because Spanish. And wisenatic is converting wagons now. Bengute's light cav are closing in. I'm disappointed that we don't see more pointy boys here. Pointy boys would go a long way to keeping these monks alive. And now we've got a massive wagon battle in the center. Looks like we got a couple of bots too. Bengute is forced to turn back. So how many relics does everybody have? Well, Bengute has 2 relics, and wisenatic I don't think has any relics. So it could come down to that. So, I'm not sure who has more wagons right now, wisenatic or Bengute. This Bengute has 28 and wisenatic has 8, so now that I've counted, Bengute has more wagons, but boy. Are these trebuchets attacking the wagons? I didn't know you could do that. So chemistry now coming in for Bengute. You know what? If I'm wisenatic, you know what wisenatic should do right now? Wisenatic should get Supremacy and Sappers. And wisenatic should charge this. Am I crazy for suggesting that? I would love to see wisenatic just Supremacy, Sappers, charge these castles, take them down, charge these trebuchets, run in with the monks, convert everything. Do not let Bengute get to Hupnica. Attack grounding with trebs happened a lot this game. Wisenatic still has not gotten Supremacy. Supremacy vills die to wagons? Really? Does the game see Supremacy villagers as infantry? Is that why they die to wagons? Wisenatic is just not doing a good job keeping these castles up. He keeps building castles, and Bengute keeps on coming up with enough trebuchets to kill his castles before he can do any damage. I would get Supremacy with this castle and just charge it. Convert as many wagons as you can with the monks. Because he doesn't have siege, he's sort of out of options. Gonna repair this trebuchet to keep it alive, but he tried bombard cannons, but the trebuchets just microed them. They only have 12 range, so if he steps just a little bit too close to the castle, he's dead. Bengute with a cannon of his own, and we've got a dodgeball tournament. Hey, Caesar! How's it going? Bengute does have an advantage, though, in the sense that he could get the Bohemian technology, Hupnica, but wisenatic, his bombard cannons fire faster. So, if Bengute gets the resources, he'll have the advantage. But until then, wisenatic has the advantage. Look at these flaming catapult balls. You made it to 1200 Team ELO with randoms today. Bengute says, wagons kill Supremacy vills because they have 17 base attack. Now, that is a lot of attack. The vills only have 4 armor. Bengute deciding to dive this with light cap. So wisenatic has more economy than bengute, but bengute has more military than wisenatic. Oh, wisenatic still cleans this up. Bengute, I think, is playing ultra conservatively here. Like, he's got his wall of castles, and he's just being very careful and adding things and conserving resources, I feel. I think Bengute is like seeing this is my chance to take the #1 seed out of the tournament, and I don't want to mess this game up. And meanwhile, wisenatic is saying, I need to make sure I've got a healthy build count, I need to make sure that I take up the space, I need to make sure that I make everything, have good macro. But I think wisenatic is really suffering from a lack of space here. Okay, barracks coming up for wisenatic. What's it going to be? Pikes against all these light cav? I hope so. Yeah, so wisenatic getting not cavalry. Scale mail armor, which is applicable to infantry. He's getting the eco upgrades. He just doesn't have a lot of space up here. I would like to see wisenatic load his conquistadors into his free transport ship and come across and pick off villagers on Bengute's little peninsula. So one of wisenac's markets is going down. Wisenatic may consider, since the island is so small, he could consider cannon galleons too. Cannon galleons could be pretty devastating against Bengute. Could you imagine if he destroyed like this castle, this town center, these farms, this monastery? I know he can't afford it and everything like that. Neither player is selling their wood, which I kind of disagree with. Maybe they feel like there's not a lot of wood on this map and they don't want to run out. So Bengute has prepared pikemen, and that's going to be really good for him. Wisenatic has spearmen coming out himself. He's trying to chase down the light cav and then deciding, oh wait a second, I lost all my monks, this isn't worth fighting over. So yeah, he's getting out of there, as I would as well. But maybe wisenatic feels like he can't run anymore. Wisenatic is 20 military to Bengute's 50. And what do you do about these wagons if you don't have redemption monks anymore? I mean, theoretically, wisenatic gets paladin, maybe champion, I don't know. But right now he's got 12 military, so he's sort of in trouble. Bengute is coming in and taking up this space gladly. So wisenatic has put a monk in a transport ship, is starting to think about the relics, I think, but his attention is focused elsewhere. Okay, so we do have some monks to convert these wagons. These pikemen are finishing off the light cav. Town center's going down. So wisenatic is still at 113 villagers to Bengute's 95. So wisenatic doing a great job of keeping his economy active. His town center's working, making villagers booming, I suppose. A quick boomer. Bengute is dropping another castle here. Bengute is getting a halberdier now. He's got a couple of bombard cannons here he could put to work. As wisenatic calls the GG. Well played to Bengute. Wisenatic played really well, and we're very grateful that he signed up for the tournament. Really appreciate his kind words here. And hopefully wisenatic will participate in more tournaments for which I make maps for in the future. But in the meantime, this is the chance to celebrate Bengute, showing that he is a force to be reckoned with in this tournament. Bengute, the 9th seed, I believe, upsetting and defeating the 1st seed in the Platinum Division. So hopefully everybody else is paying attention here, especially everyone in Bengute's division, to know that this guy he means business. He's going to bring it in the next round. So a real pleasure watching the two of these guys go at it. Very grateful that they signed up and gave us some good content here to cast. And we're looking forward to seeing Bengute move on to the tournament. We got to say farewell to wisenatic, but again, both of these guys really awesome for signing up. So I'm really curious in terms of statistics. Maybe I could figure it out somewhere. Is there any way you guys to tell? Hopefully they aren't paying attention. I can see how you would feel that way. For their sake, they should be paying attention. But those were some pretty good games. I thought at least wisenatic would take a game off of Bengute, being 150 elo higher than Bengute. But this is just going to show that anyone can win on these maps. You don't have to have the best macro, the best micro. You can break the maps down and make good decisions about the maps. You know, what if wisenatic had loaded up his transport and just transported 5 conchs over here? Bengute could have been dead. Could have killed Bengute that way. I know. I'm just a 1400 pleb. It's not that simple, right? But wisenatic going 2 town centers. Bengute stayed on 1 town center, and Bengute punished him for it. Went to Imperial Age faster, trebbed down his forward, trebbed down a 2nd castle that he built here, and then wisenatic was pretty far behind. Bengute, to be honest, I was expecting to beat him 2-0. Hey, no need to be so modest, Bengute. No, I get you. I know what you mean. Bengute was thinking wisenatic would beat him 2-0. And honestly, that's what I thought too. I looked at the elo difference and I said, I don't know if Bengute can do this. But maybe if Bengute's lucky, he'll take a game off of wisenatic. But Bengute here, coming in strong in this set. So it's definitely something to watch out for. I'm wondering if we can see how much relic gold. I don't know. I don't know how to tell how much relic gold Bengute got. Oh, wait a second. I know how to tell how much relic gold Bengute got. We'll quit out of Capture Age. You guys can view all the beautiful cubes on my map. And now let's look at the statistics here. So economy, in terms of relic gold, maybe society, here we go. So Bengute with 2.5k relic gold. Think about that for a minute. Just think about that. That is a huge deal. Over the course of this game, these relics paid for cannons. They paid for trebuchets. You can tell in the normal game settings. Yeah, I figured it out. I finally got there. They paid for all kinds of stuff. So Bengute very wise to not ignore the relics. I guess what I can say is that it was worth his APM to get those 2 relics early. And sure, it would have been nice if you were Bengute to get more. But 2 relics is about half of 5, right? It's 40% of 5. So he got almost his fair share of relics. So just really well played. Both these guys. It was a pleasure to watch. So that was the cast. Sorry that we had to start over. Did the first 20 minutes of the first game and then have your game give you the blue screen of death here. But I'm very glad that I did. This is a fantastic set. And again, we're very excited to see how the rest of Platinum plays out. And big respects to both of these players for signing up. So with that, we're going to leave it here. Thanks everybody for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you can't make it to the live chat and join me live for the event, which is always the best because I like having you, you can always leave a comment in the comment section. Let me know how we're doing. If there's something that you'd like to see, if you think the video quality could be improved, if you think the casting could be improved, let me know. all that stuff is good stuff, because eventually on this channel we're going to try to do a tournament of our own. Maybe not something that's necessarily Irish themed, but something that I think is really cool, or maybe one of my own projects. And it would be good to have your feedback for when we do that, so that we can implement any improvements that you suggest. So with that, we're going to say goodnight. Thanks everybody so much for watching, and hopefully I will see you again soon.